Yeah.
Yeah. Oh gosh, that's not right.
What happened?
Come on, man.
It said episode 8,809.
Ooh.
Nope.
That'll be our
That
kids.
ain't right.
That'll be our kids.
That's
Yeah,
not
really.
right.
All
Alrighty. Hello and welcome to episode number 880 of the Player One podcast for Tuesday, October 3rd, 2023. I'm your host, Chris Johnston. With me, as always, from Canada is Mr. Greg Seward.
Hello.
How do you feel that we're only 8 episodes away from episode 888?
Sure.
I'm very excited. It's like
a toll-free call.
it's like the number of the beast, but two better.
Do you think Pauly Shore is available to join us again, or?
Oh, that'd be great. He did those collect call commercials
Mm-hmm.
back in the 80s.
you see what he's trying to do these days?
No.
I don't
Smoke
think I
weed?
did.
He's
Restart his
he's
career?
not trying to do that.
Do I
Restart his
want to
career?
know? Do I want to know what he's doing these days?
He is attempting to get a bunch of people hyped because he wants to make a biopic about Richard Simmons, and he wants
watch
to, of
that.
course, he wants to play Richard Simmons.
That could be
I'd still watch
interesting.
that.
I'd probably watch that. Yeah. Why
So
not? Yeah.
I don't know.
And with me from the great state of Washington, Mr. Phil Theobald.
Your one-stop shop for the latest Pauly Shore news and updates.
Pauly Shore news. What was it? Greg, you asked me for like the sound clips from episode 666 that we did on Cameo.
That's because I've been on a couple times now. I was on the Here's My Question for You podcast
Mhm.
with Corey Carlson and Chris Alimo from My Life in Gaming and Classic Gaming Quarterly, respectively. And we were just chatting. They were talking about how it would be funny if they could get some celebrities to do endorsements for their show. And I said, well, we just started talking about Cameo.
Yeah.
And I said that we had Pauly Shore, and I couldn't remember who else. And I couldn't remember why. I'd forgotten it was episode 666. So
I couldn't remember why.
I thought it was maybe for the 500. I didn't know I couldn't remember what the milestone was.
Oh my goodness.
So
No, because it was all like
anyway.
horror people.
Well, yeah,
And
all I
Pauly
remember was
Shore.
And Pauly Shore.
So, anyway, so I just wanted to let them know, and I wanted to send them the clips because they're like,
we did
"Oh,
the Crypt
that's a
Keeper.
good idea."
Yeah.
Yeah, the Crypt
did
Keeper was
Kane
the best
Hodder.
one.
Yep.
And Pauly Shore.
And
Is that
Svengoolie.
it? And Svengoolie, which was
Yep.
fantastic. That
Oh,
still
my gosh.
remains my favorite one.
How's this for crazy? I was at Target the other day, and I'm leaving Target, and as I'm driving, I'm pulling out of the parking lot, and I see a fellow walking to his car, and he's wearing a Svengoolie t-shirt.
Yeah.
And I was surprised and delighted to the point where I actually stopped my car, rolled down my window, and yelled,
Berwin.
But see, that's what I should have done. I just yelled and got his attention. Excuse me, sir, something along those lines. And he was very confused why some person's yelling at him in a parking lot.
Yeah.
And he turns around and he's like, "Oh, yes?" He was polite.
Excuse me, sir. Yes, is there something I can do for you?
"Yes, I would like to purchase your shirt, sir." Actually, I had no need to purchase it because I own that same Svengoolie shirt. But I complimented him. I complimented him on his Svengoolie shirt, and he was very delighted that someone knew what it was.
Yeah.
And then I went about my merry way.
Excellent.
And I presume he did as well.
Probably.
But it was nice to see another Svengoolie fan in the wild. Which is, rare.
It is rare.
Especially so far outside of the Chicagoland area.
I was going to say,
yeah.
You're way outside their natural habitat, so
it's very true.
Well, and then you find out he had just bought that shirt at a Goodwill and wasn't a fan. That's when you run him over with your car and drive away.
I could afford.
Yeah.
Ugh.
All righty. Well,
CJ?
It's CJ Freeze.
Or he's
oh my
being
God,
really
am I
still?
really lagged at this?
You're really
I
lagged.
can hear you now.
You're freezing up on us, buddy.
Oh, well, I guess I'm really lagged. Oh well.
Dude's got the stage fright.
No.
You know, while you're getting that straightened out, CJ, let me bust open my beverage.
Do you hear me now? Do you hear me now?
I can hear you
Yeah,
now.
I can hear you.
Okay, good.
I'm
Well,
busting
maybe I'm
open
not
my
lagging
beverage
anymore?
for the week, CJ.
Okay. Oh, okay, do it.
Last week I had, what did I have? Oh, that terrible AI
created
Coke.
cola.
But today, as we are recording, it is October 1st. We've officially entered spooky season, so I have a bottle of Mountain Dew Zero Voodoo, which is their annual mystery flavor that they bring out for the Halloween season. And you can see it's a nice.
Are any of these special flavors ever good?
Yes, yeah. Actually, some of the Voodoo stuff has actually been pretty good.
Okay.
And you know, it's supposed to be a mystery flavor. I have had this spoiled, in as much as you can spoil soda.
Wait, the soda's gone bad? Don't drink it.
No,
Phil.
not that kind of spoiled. The flavor is not a secret to me. There we go. Let me get a whiff. Okay. I'll spoil soda spoilers, everyone. It's apparently cherry. From what I've heard, it's just cherry. Usually these are a little wonkier flavors. Like, oh, it tastes like, and now CJ's gone.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes they do like weird stuff. Oh, it's like Sour
it's
Patch Kid flavored or some nonsense.
So
But this is apparently just cherry. And I've heard it compared favorably to Code Red.
I like Code Red.
Well, you should. Code Red is great. Let me.
I drank way too much Code Red. I still have pounds on me from drinking Code Red 25 years ago.
This is why I have the zero sugar.
Yeah.
Which did not exist back during the Ziff Davis days. Let's see here.
Ball sweat.
I mean, it's got tinges of it. No, you know what? This is actually pretty good. Yeah, it is definitely just like cherry soda.
Cherry soda is good.
But yeah, exactly. So, I will be finishing this up during the show, unlike that horrible AI Coke. Ugh.
What do you want to talk about before until CJ gets back?
Oh, I don't know. How have you been?
You know what?
I don't.
My son is in the middle of hockey tryouts.
Oh.
Which is just the absolute worst. It's
really?
so stressful, and it's not because like I'm not one of those parents where like, you know, he's got to be on the top team or I'm upset or anything like that. I'm very much because I'm not really a sports guy. Never really was.
Right.
The only reason I watch so many sports at this point is to support my kids.
Yeah.
And but it is a very stressful time. It's very stressful for the kids. It's always a little political.
Oh.
Yeah. Am I?
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Okay. I was wondering what was
There we
going on
go.
Anyway, I don't know if that caught anything, but it's just a really stressful time. So
you're talking about the politics of
not like Democrats and Republican politics, but
right. But like,
you know, just political.
Yeah.
And it's just stressful, and I hate as a parent to see him go through it. That's all. So,
well, we still talking about Svengoolie.
It's not close to over.
Running for office.
Yes, Svengoolie's running for the mayor of Chicago.
I mean, I'd vote for him.
He's got Berwyn's vote, that's for sure.
Wow.
No, we were talking about children's athletics. I had already enjoyed my voodoo
Did it taste like turpentine?
Well, according to
always a little bit.
My buddy Bill Mudron in the chat, it's not just cherry. It's apparently supposed to be specifically cherry airheads. That candy.
Oh,
which I mean, I guess I'm certainly not doubting that, but
yeah,
because I mean, it's definitely cherry. It's a different type of cherry than say Code Red. So, you know what? Cherry airhead, sure.
Yeah,
makes sense to me. I'm gonna take another swig. Try and
better
stop
than
me,
the
losers.
Y3000 Coke Zero, clearly. Yeah,
is definitely better.
Nice.
Than that Coke garbage.
Nice.
You get your computer fixed, CJ?
Well, we're gonna find out.
Okay. I mean,
we're gonna find out together.
I rebooted.
Oh, did you?
We're gonna find out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you seem to be doing fine now.
I expect it to freeze in 3, 2, 1.
Oh, is he just holding really still?
You're still moving. Yeah.
Oh, damn it. All right. So.
Yeah.
Video games.
What of them?
Well, last week, if you worked in the gaming industry, there's a good chance
you probably don't anymore.
You had a pretty bad week.
Oh,
ow! That
wow.
Stinks. That stinks.
I mean, we've all been there, so yeah.
Yep.
If the shoe fits,
multiple times.
Yeah. So yeah, a couple of things here. First of all, Sega canceled Hyenas, which was Creative Assemblies.
I don't know what Hyenas was.
Apparently nobody did. You remember when Sega was talking about that super game with the potential to make like millions and millions? Well, the super game was Hyenas, which is Creative Assemblies. It's like a loot-based shooter. It's an extraction shooter, which is a genre that's very hot right now. And part of the catch of it was that you were heisting items like Sega, like Sonic tchotchkes and things like that. You were trying to collect all this stuff to then escape with it. And yeah, and they had like little bombs that you could throw that were little Mega Drives and like a lot of Sega tchotchkes. They had also like licensed stuff, like there were Atari logos in the game as well, like a bunch of stuff. So well, anyway, apparently that's not happening anymore, even after like 2 beta tests. Like they had done some play tests of it, and they allowed people to stream like the second play test that they did recently, and it didn't look that bad. Apparently not successful enough to be released, so Sega has canceled it before it even comes out, and that was bad. First off, then Epic is like, you know what? Hold my beer, because I'm gonna lay off 900 people from Epic, including like all of or next to all of Mediatonic, which is a developer they bought in 2020, I think, maybe 2021. Mediatonic, of course, a company I used to work with quite a lot at Adult Swim. They did the Amateur Surgeon series and a bunch of other games for us on mobile. And then they did Fall Guys with Devolver.
Well, you know, who could
huge hit.
Who could expect the people who created Fall Guys to stick around very long? I mean,
huge hit. And then Epic bought Mediatonic and bought Fall Guys away from Devolver. And yeah, I guess now they let everybody go, or next to nearly
almost
everybody.
900 people. Oh yeah, Mediatonic is pretty much done for, isn't it?
And apparently there's a picture, people in the office like rearranged the letters in Mediatonic because you can make the word decimation out of those letters. Well, it's an anagram. So there was that. And then apparently they've let people go from Psyonix, and Epic had bought Bandcamp.
Oh,
yeah.
I don't know why they did that, but apparently they're getting rid of it already. That only happened like a year ago.
Wow.
And I imagine something's up at Harmonix, because Epic also bought Harmonix fairly recently. And I'm hoping that doesn't mean the end of my Rock Band 4 DLC.
They're finally going to stop supporting Rock Band.
I hope not. I hope not. Although at this point, yeah, they probably will. Because that's been going for a long ass time. For basically,
Yeah, you got to hand it to them. I mean, they've supported that
way
longer than I think anyone expected.
And it is just for you at this point, right?
Yeah, I think you're the only one.
There's a pretty dedicated fan base still for Rock Band, but I'm in there.
There's my kid. My wife plays.
I'm still getting DLC for Rock
All
Band.
of us.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Epic's only breaking in what 5 or 6 billion a year on Fortnite.
Yeah.
So
No kidding. No
sometimes
kidding.
you gotta tighten the belt, man.
Gotta tighten that belt.
Oof.
Yeah, so not a great week for people making games, but and then Jim Ryan announced he's retiring.
Oh, right.
As well.
Who?
Exactly. I don't know that is a positive or negative in any way. Across.
I don't know if it's because I don't pay super close attention to sort of video game executives and stuff anymore.
Yeah.
Or just if he's not that impressive. You know what I mean? Like, because I
think he's a different kind of executive than we have. He's what I would say is he's much more of an old school video game executive that knows that isn't a gamer, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that used to happen more and more. But now we have people like, Phil Spencer, who is a gamer, you have people like Reggie who maybe they're gamers. Maybe they just hire a bunch of people to pretend.
Well, see, but Reggie was just such a big personality. That's kind of what I'm getting at, right?
Or and Jim Ryan wasn't
the likes of Iwata and stuff. Yeah, and Jim Ryan was just kind of very there.
He's a business person.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not making any commentary on how good or bad he was at his job. I have no idea.
And hey, video games is a business, and they're run effectively by
except
business
for Nintendo.
People.
Except for Nintendo, right?
Except for Nintendo, it's a toy company run by Willy Wonka.
Right. Yes. I think we established that last week.
The famous toy maker, Willy Wonka. He's noted for his
Nintendo is like
unspeakable things to children.
Whoever's the CEO of Nintendo is like Santa Claus, and they wave their finger over their nose, and Mario Wonder appears. Is that what we're talking about?
That's how Santa goes up chimneys. That's not how he makes toys.
Okay.
Jeez. The elves make the toys.
Oh, right.
The finger by the nose.
For that one elf who's a dentist.
His name is Hermie, first of all. He's an aspiring dentist.
Yeah. But really, if you're just a video game player, a lot of the news from last week doesn't really probably impact you much at all.
I mean, unless you're
a System Wars
fan of certain
advocate.
Games by certain companies,
that
are now been ripped to pieces through.
Unless you have human empathy,
you have human empathy,
or all
luckily, there's less and less of that nowadays. So
that is true. Thankfully,
much less of that than usual.
Yeah.
I find I worry a lot less these days.
Yeah. I mean, it sucks so much for Creative Assembly because first of all, they're a really good team. They've done like a lot of really great games with Sega, including Alien Isolation.
I was gonna say, I thought Creative Assembly. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
And they do like the Total War series on PC for
Sega.
Oh, yeah. But Alien Isolation, that's top notch. And Hyenas, yes, live service game. It's not even getting a chance to flop. And that's good. Like if you're on the dev team and you dedicate 2 years plus, I'm sure, of your life to a game and not even have anything to show for it.
That being said, it's not necessarily that weird to be a game developer,
right?
And have huge chunks of your resume, completely devoid of shipped products.
Do a lot of work on something that never ships.
That never happens. Yeah,
that happens a lot too.
Not that makes it any better, but
no. Of course not. But hey, video games are good.
You got that right, buddy.
Oh, I hear people were talking that the Epic folks that are laid off get 6 months of severance. That's at least it could have been worse. It could have been worse. I mean, it would be better if they had their jobs still.
Yeah.
6 months of severance isn't. Yeah, I mean it's still bad, but you know. Anyway, hey, Fortnite's still chugging along. Although I'm not playing this season, so that's why everybody's getting laid off because I'm not playing this season.
That's probably it.
Damn it! If only I'd kept playing. Anyway,
we were gonna split that season pass from CJ 900 ways, but
right,
we can't afford to keep you all around. Sorry.
Yeah, but I would have thought like Fall Guys is a popular game, a popular service game, and of course Epic also owns Psyonix, which is Rocket League.
Yeah.
Like and I think Psyonix also saw some layoffs. You think this means games as a service isn't the cash cow, isn't the windfall that everybody
Well, I think it means that games as a service, like it's not enough. You need to be a very popular service game.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, because there's associated costs with doing that sort of thing. Like the whole point of games as a service was that games were getting so big and so expensive to make, and during the development cycle, you weren't bringing in any revenue.
Yeah.
Right. So it's just you spending all your budget up front to release something, and then you see the returns. So the whole point of service games was that you could start getting regular monthly revenue coming in. But I mean, I'm going to go ahead and guess that creating and maintaining a service game is more expensive than just creating a standalone product that's finished at some point. So I mean, I think the associated costs just kept going up.
Yeah.
And you know,
well, I think there's expectation from players too. Players that play live service games are used to now whatever regular cadence of updates those games get. And if you launch a new one and you don't have as wide a breadth of content, people look at what game they were playing before and just continue playing that game, right? And instead of jumping to the old game or the new game that has less content, like it's hard
when
to.
Everyone's doing it. You're constantly competing with established services.
Yes, you are. Yeah.
Video games suck.
And then there's all that Embracer stuff that
yeah.
How long is it going to be till they ditch the Lord of the Rings license that they picked up?
I don't think they'll ditch the license. They might just sit on it.
You think they're going to sit on it? Or are they going to sub-license it?
Well, see, I wonder because I wonder, like looking at the Gollum game as an example.
That was from before Embracer bought.
Oh, was it? Okay. But I guess what my point is that if they make something on the cheap, is that license popular enough that they can still turn a profit on it?
I'm going to say no. That license is not strong enough. And I'm not going to say if you make something on the cheap that it equals bad, but it's much more likely that it will not meet the expectations of the people who would enjoy a game from that license, right?
Right.
I mean, what are the last games? Didn't WB Games make the Middle Earth?
Those games were pretty good.
Games that were good. Yeah, what happened to them making more of those? It just petered out. Oh well. Anyway, Quest 3. From Meta, we have a date for Quest 3. It's October 10th.
Oh.
Even though
that's soon.
If you watch the keynote, Mark Zuckerberg said August 10th.
Well, you know.
During the release date reveal, he said
He
August.
had a 1 in 12 chance of getting it right.
That's yep. And I don't know if you watched the keynote from Facebook Connect.
No.
It was pretty terrible.
You bet I was right there.
In terms of launching like a new games platform, it just like I felt this way watching last year's Facebook Connect where they really revealed the Quest Pro, where they had the focus was on like business applications for Quest
Yeah.
Pro. This
Exciting.
one very similar to that, where they didn't really talk about exclusive games for the Quest 3, like that use the new capabilities of the tracking, and they showed a Lego Bricktails mixed reality game that doesn't come out until November. And then they showed Asgard's Wrath 2, which is by Sanzaru Games, that console gamers will know from like the latter Sly Cooper games and some of the Jack and Daxter spin-offs.
Oh, okay.
Right, they are now owned by Meta, and
so they won't be around much longer.
Yeah, really.
Well, yeah, they are doing Asgard's Wrath 2, which is a pack-in game for Quest 3 if you buy the more expensive version. But that game doesn't come out until December. So, like, what exactly are you buying on October 10th? Like, you're buying a headset.
It's a pack-in game that comes out 2 months after the system.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, that's not a pack-in game.
Well, no, it's
I
not.
believe up until now that was called the Saturn launch.
It was a bad move then, and I don't think it's a great move now, but yeah. I mean, Quest 3 looks great. Like from a technical point of view, I'm excited about Quest 3 and what it offers in terms of especially being like a slimmer headset than the Quest 2 and having a wider field of view. I think that's great. I think it kind of falls into that same category as Quest 2, where you have to, like, the default strap that it comes with isn't great.
Oh, yeah.
Just like Quest 2's was.
Yeah, you do need to.
You may as well buy, like,
the
like $50 Elite strap or whatever.
Exactly.
This seems to be falling into that same category where they have a lot of, like, more expensive accessories for you to buy, because when you get the default ones, maybe you'll be happy with it, but you probably won't.
It just comes with a spool of twine.
Basically, yeah.
Or you can give us another $70 to get the Elite twine.
Well, yeah, the straps that come with the Quest, they're just the side strap. Like, there's no like down the middle
strap that goes down the middle.
Yeah,
the Mohawk strap.
Yeah, so like I watched the presentation and was like, well, I'm probably going to wait until some third-party accessories start coming out for this thing. Like, and I am interested in a better. I'm in the Quest ecosystem. I have a Quest 2 and I really like it. But I also have PSVR 2, and a lot of the games that come out on Quest also come out for PSVR 2. So I don't feel any urgency to pick up a Quest 3, in part because that would also mean picking up Elite straps. That would also mean like getting new prescription lenses for the thing. So yeah, and also the exclusive games, there's just not anything that I'm like really pumped about over the games that are on Quest 2 or PSVR 2. So that kind of makes that decision easy. Here I thought I was going to be getting a Quest 3 last week, and then after the presentation I was like, oh, well, I guess I don't have to. So
you know what, I
me $500.
You know what I was thinking about getting last week?
What's that?
An analog pocket.
Oh, they got those nice clear ones now.
Those sound easy to order.
Translucent cases.
Yeah,
those look beautiful.
They do.
Do you have? You don't have an analog pocket, do you?
No.
Well, I'll tell you what. As someone who is a proud owner of an analog pocket, I highly recommend one, Greg. You should absolutely pick up one of these new systems. They're great, and I guarantee that you will love it. And to have it in those cool colors.
Do you
I'm
guarantee
envious.
satisfaction?
So which one did you get, Greg?
It was transparent disappointment.
Episode title.
That's what's written on my birth certificate.
Can I just say, I've said this before. I'm going to try to say it without swearing.
Okay.
Shopping on the internet sucks.
Unless it's a thing that nobody else wants.
Unless it's the thing nobody else wants. So, yeah. So so what they've been doing, Analog's been doing this with these special edition, like limited edition, whatever you want to call them, transparent analog pocket systems. Because you could pre-order them ages ago, and they were just like black or white, I think.
Right.
And you waited forever for them to ship. But now they keep releasing these batches of limited edition transparent versions that you order, and they ship within like 2 weeks.
Right.
Right. So there was a batch that went on sale on Friday at I think it was noon my time.
Okay.
Is when it went live. And I talked myself into getting one because I sort of gone back and forth on whether I want one or not. And it's like, you know what? I want one of these things. So I was on the website a little early. And it was one of those situations where, like, if you clicked on the buy link, it would just come up with a screen that said the store's not open yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right. All right, cool. So I was sort of, as the time was approaching, I was clicking on the buy link, and then I back out, and I click on it again and back out. Clicked on it again, literally a second after the previous time I clicked on it. Store's open. Awesome. Picked the thing I wanted and clicked buy. And then it puts you in a virtual queue, right? And it put me in a virtual queue for, I think it was 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm thinking, well, I'm safe. It let me add it to the cart.
Right.
Yeah.
So there must be one reserved for me. I'm in line to pay for this thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So finally you can buy this now thing pops up. And I clicked purchase and just got a note saying, oh, it's out of stock.
Oh.
And the really fun part about it is that if you go on eBay right now, it's just an endless list of confirmed pre-orders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For double or 2.5 times the list price of these things.
Yeah.
That is complete bullshit. Like, it's just, and I know it's not anything new.
No.
It's just so frustrating that this is a thing. I don't know how you fix it, but holy God, like, it's just, you can't buy anything that anyone is even remotely interested in, or that scalpers especially are interested in anymore. You don't have a chance. It's ridiculous.
Oh man.
No.
I just popped on eBay, and I sure enough, I found like a single seller advertising the transparent analog pocket, multiple colors.
Yeah, see.
So this guy was he has 3 available.
I'm looking at it. Yeah.
5 have already sold. So this person was able to get 8 of these systems.
Yeah.
And is selling them for $400.
Yeah.
And they're what, 250?
They're like 250 or 2 something new.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so this guy was able to get 8 of those systems. Ugh.
It's brutal.
Yeah.
It's
I was
so
only
brutal.
able to get 2 of them, Greg. Which color did you want? I'll sell it to you for $350.
Canadian?
No. No.
What am I, made of money?
No. Now, which color were you actually hoping to get?
I went with orange just because I like orange. Orange and purple were the 2 that I wanted, but
it's the orange one is pretty.
I'll be honest, I don't like transparent system cases. I never.
Oh, is that right?
Oh,
but
I
it's
do.
just, this is the way you can buy them now. So
yeah, I am.
I'm a big fan of transparent.
I do love me a
console cases.
Transparent piece of video game hardware.
Absolutely.
I'll tell you what. I'll buy yours at regular price, and then you can buy one of those.
No, thank you. I think
there it is.
I'm just trying to come up with a solution that makes us all happy.
They really should.
eBay shouldn't, at least at any rate, eBay shouldn't be allowing like confirmed pre-orders
right
to be
I
no.
I think technically you're not supposed to.
Yeah, but they're not
Technically, you're not
stopping it.
But yeah, I
clearly.
mean, right.
So,
Technically, you can't sell body parts on there either, but I make do.
Okay, then.
somehow I manage.
I'm sorry, Greg.
Greg, yeah.
Are you still gonna try when they make more analog pockets?
I might. I mean, if they get to the point where, and I don't remember if Analog does this. I mean, I've had luck buying their stuff before.
Mhm.
Like I have a Super NT and a Mega SG, and I love them. They're great. Like I'm so happy I have them. But I think the way they were before is that like there was a pre-order period.
Yes.
Right.
And they made as
And
many as they.
Yeah. So if they ever do that
Yeah.
again with the Analog Pocket, yes.
Yeah, which I'm sure they will.
With these, I mean, I might give it a shot again on the off chance that I get lucky enough to get one, but I'm
Right.
I'm going to try to keep myself from getting too frustrated at it when it doesn't work.
They do
But I was
seem
just
to be
so crazy
good
about it.
about letting people know if, like, when they did the final run of the SNES and Genesis.
Yeah.
That's when
Which is a real shame, by the way.
Yeah, because they are really nice.
They're great little systems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, well, I hope you're able to get one at some point, Greg, because I'm sure you will like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get one of those docks for it.
Well, that's I don't want to buy one without one of the docks.
Right.
I don't know that I want the Game Gear adapter, although I do want all the other adapter set because I have Lynx games, I have Neo Geo Pocket games,
right?
And TurboGrafx games, so I'd like to be able to play all that stuff.
Yeah.
As well, you should.
Well, I think we should move along to what you've been playing.
Oh,
and Greg, why don't you kick us off?
I've been very busy this week. As I was mentioning while you were gone, because my son is going through hockey tryouts right now, which is a long, arduous process because, playing minor hockey is like trying out for the NHL. So I haven't had a chance to play much, but I have played a little bit more Sea of Stars.
Oh, good.
I don't have much more to say about it than I said last week. It's really pretty. It still sounds great. It's funny because after I mentioned last week that I've been playing it, I did have some people sort of reach out and make comments about how they finally did give up on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Also, I had people reach out and say they haven't seen any of the grammatical errors CJ was complaining about last week.
Oh, it's not just me that's saying that.
Yeah. So. But yeah, I'm still enjoying it. I haven't played much of it this week just because I have been so busy, but I'm still really loving what I'm playing. And it's really nice. It's so nice that they have those casual options that you can just, turn it on and just sort of, I just like to pick it up and play it for like an hour here and there. But I'm playing it a little bit in the morning, like between the time because I work from home most of the time. So between the time my kids go out the door to school and, the time that I actually start work, I've already had breakfast and all that stuff. So I just have like half an hour to kill. I'll just toss this in and play it for half an hour and make a little progress. And,
nice.
Yeah, so no, still loving it, but not really much else to say about it right now.
I see. Well, that means we can move right along to Phil.
Yes.
What have you been playing?
Okay, buckle up.
I'm buckled.
This is exciting.
Been playing another one of those weird ass games that only I would play.
Weird ass games.
So I have been playing on the Nintendo Switch the hot new belt-scrolling beat 'em up Bud Spencer and Terrence Hill : Slaps and Beans 2, which is a game.
Okay.
And it's got a convoluted kind of backstory to it. So I'm going to assume the answer is no, but are either of you familiar with Bud Spencer and Terrence Hill?
Only because you played the first one of these and talked about it on the show a while back. That's the only
okay.
memory I have of that. Otherwise, no, I do not know.
So Bud Spencer and Terrence Hill, they are a couple Italian actors. Bud Spencer, he died a couple years ago. Terrence Hill is still kicking around. They were very big back in the 70s and 80s. And for some reason,
Just like the equivalent to like Cheech and Chong, or
well, they starred in mostly like spaghetti westerns.
oh, okay,
Back in the day.
excellent. Okay,
Yes. Spaghetti westerns, of course, being Italian cowboy movies, basically.
yeah,
And quite a few of them were dubbed and released here in the U.S. back in the day. And I am familiar with them because my father was a big Western movie fan. So he watched a lot of cowboy movies back when I was a kid. And so I'm familiar with Bud Spencer and Terrence Hill through just kind of osmosis from my dad watching these movies. And they usually a fair bit of slapstick. I'm not going to say I haven't seen any of these movies since I was a kid. I don't know how well they hold up. Maybe not well. Who knows? But yeah, they were full of slapstick. It was kind of stuff kids would like. A lot of just kind of goofy humor in them. And some Italian video game developer decided to 45 years on make a game about these
sure.
two actors. And the idea is they're trying to capture the feel of the old movies through the animation and certainly through the music, because their old movies had there was like a band that basically did all the soundtracks for those old movies, and they licensed all the old music to be in the games. So it definitely has the feel. And yeah, it's just like there's a little side-scrolling beat 'em up. It looks it looks nice. It's got that kind of 16-bit style pixel art. It looks real pretty. The animation's good. The music is, like I said, all licensed. Gameplay wise, it's not very good. Like at all. It's like it's one of those things where it's like you can tell that the team working on it, like everyone involved in this game, boy, their heart's in the right place. Boy, they really love what they're doing. Boy, they are doing their darndest to make the best game they possibly can. And it doesn't quite work. It comes up a little short. And it's a shame because you can tell that there's so much love put into it. And it's just so close to being
you're just
good.
kind of pulling for it, right?
Yeah, it's like, I want this. It's because it's such a stupid license that nobody's going to care about, especially in this country. Maybe over in Italy, this game is like
Probably number one on the eShop.
that's this year's Baldur's Gate 3 in Italy, for all I know. But here in the US, ain't nobody caring about Bud Spencer and Terrence Hill in their slaps and beans game. But oh boy, you really want it to be good, because like I said, there is so much heart and feeling put into this game, and it just comes up a little short. But I'm still playing it because just bless them, they're doing their best. So it's one of those things. So I'm not recommending this game unless you somehow are a fan of 1970s spaghetti westerns,
Which you could be.
which maybe you are. But yeah. So that's the bulk of what I've been playing. Little other things. I played a little Tetris 99 because there was a new theme you could unlock this weekend.
By the way,
Xenoblade.
I just
Yeah.
want to say that the first Slaps and Beans
Yeah.
is on sale on the eShop for $6.
Oh, well, there you go.
So if you did want to dip your toe into some Bud Spencer and Terrence Hill action,
now's your chance.
you could do that for
I will
a little
say
cheaper.
that the storyline does continue. So this part 2 picks up story-wise right where the first game left off. So
I was checking to see if there was a demo. Perhaps
I don't believe
there's
there
a
is.
No, there's no demo, but
there's no demo.
The first one is cheaper.
But the first one's cheap. So, hey, if you're curious about a side-scrolling beat 'em up that's maybe a 5 out of 10, if we're using the whole scale, maybe bump it up to a 6 if you're feeling generous.
5 out of 10 will put a studio like Embracer out of business. You're advocating dip their toe into a 5 out of 10.
Yeah. But
sometimes I like fives out of 10.
I mean, sometimes you just want to play a perfectly average game that maybe
not trying to do anything special or flashy.
No.
Not trying to impress.
Nope. It's just
thank goodness for that.
It's just being a video game.
Well, there's one of those hitting PS Plus this week, Callisto Protocol.
Yeah,
oh God.
No, that's okay.
I heard he left the company, the creator.
Oh, left?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Moved on.
Glenn
that's right.
Yeah.
I liked the Callisto Pro.
You were the only one.
Yeah, you really did.
I thought it was fine. What it did was fine. Dead Space remake is much better, but
yes. And I can't wait for the Dead Space 2 remake because that will be
that ain't happening. Come on.
Oh, it's happening.
I don't think so. That studio moved on to do something else. They ain't doing
if it's even open anymore.
If it's even open. I mean, at least it's not Embracer or Epic, I guess. But yeah. Are we talking about EA being good for keeping their studios open?
No.
All right, so you played Slaps.
What have you been playing, CJ?
What have I been playing, Phil? Yeah. I have been playing The Outer Worlds.
Oh.
I think we talked about it last week.
You talked about that some last week, yes.
I played a whole bunch of Starfield.
Mm-hmm.
A whole mess of Starfield.
Yeah.
On my New Game Plus. I think I'm actually almost done with my first New Game Plus. I'm at the end of Starfield again. Because you can when you restart New Game Plus, you can do the main story again or you can skip it. If you skip it, you can basically like fast track to the end of it again if you wanted to do that. I don't know why necessarily you would want to do that, but I can understand that some people do. I watched a streamer who had finished New Game Plus like 10 times.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that, but I was having fun with Starfield, so I decided to play Outer Worlds some more. I had started Outer Worlds back when it came out and got pretty far, but dropped it for whatever reason. And now that I'm playing it again, I think I'm past where I was my first playthrough. I started to remember some sequences. I remember this. I remember this cannibal family that lives in this house on this planet. Yeah, I remember that. So, but I think I'm past the area where I had played before. So I'm actually now in new territory. It's new to me now.
Oh,
in 2023. So, and I'm quite enjoying it. And actually, I'm kind of maybe glad that I didn't finish it back then, because now there's like 2 DLC packs too. Once I do finish it, and I am having a lot of fun with it. I'm playing it on like story mode difficulty, so it's not difficult at all.
Yeah.
I just basically walk up to things, pump them full of like 2 shots, and they're dead, which is fine. I don't need complicated combat to enjoy a sci-fi narrative RPG, I think is the lesson there.
Mm-hmm.
But so yeah, I'm enjoying it quite a bit. I love futuristic sci-fi, like retro future sci-fi is my jam. So I'm enjoying that quite a bit.
Good.
Enjoying Outer Worlds still. I played some of it on Xbox Cloud Gaming because I was away. My family and I went to Portland this past weekend to
Portland,
see
Oregon?
Portland,
Portland,
Oregon.
Maine.
We saw Fortune Feimster in concert.
Who's
She's a comedian.
Okay.
I only know that because CJ explained this to me before we started recording.
Oh,
There's
okay.
2
I had no
Netflix
idea
specials.
who that was.
Yeah, and my daughter really likes Fortune Feimster, and my wife too. I do too. I've seen her specials, but I'm not like a huge fan. But I'll see any comedian live. I've seen Louis C.K. live. I'll see anybody. But
Did he masturbate for you?
Did you see all of Louis C.K. live, or
sorry to say, no.
because I've heard some people have.
Now that everyone's sitting down, we got the doors locked. I'm going to show you this.
Oh, Jesus. Let me whip
Yikes.
something out here.
Yikes.
Hope you people in the first few rows brought your raincoats.
You will
Like a Gallagher show. This
You're
is a
in the
splash zone.
Yikes. Yikes. So yeah, Outer Worlds. That's pretty much all I've been playing. But did you hear? I don't know if you heard the controversy about Sea of Thieves because they're introducing.
No.
They announced, they kind of teased the content coming for the next season, which is great. And then they said in December they're adding a mode in the game that you can play you plus up to 3 other players, where you have basically like your own server, your own instance. There's no other players there to wreck your day.
Okay.
And very controversial decision because some on one side you have the people who are like, yay, I can play this now without having to worry about people rolling up and decimating me. And then you have people who are like, oh no, but this takes out the easy targets that I enjoy taking out when I play. And then there are people who
reason people are upset.
Yeah.
So it's the jerks who are mad.
Well, and then there's people because it has limitations,
noobs.
and I am simplifying this debate a whole lot as I'm explaining it. By the way, there's nuance to it that I'm not going to get into here.
Okay.
But it's limited in that you only have progression up to a certain point, and it doesn't have some of the features that the main adventure mode has that are sort of there to encourage PvP. So in this sort of safer seas mode, you wouldn't need that because there's no PvP.
Right.
And not that there's no environmental or like world hazards that will not fight you, because of course Sea of Thieves has that, where there are world dangers that are not player controlled that can still kill you. But yeah, it's controversial coming in December. A lot of people have been asking for that kind of thing where they could just play it without having to worry about other players, and then I think it's good that they're doing that, and I'm fine with that. You can play some of the narrative, like tall tale content in the game without worrying about somebody coming up and just like taking away all of your progress.
Well, that seems like a good thing.
That's a good thing, right? That's a really good thing.
Ask CJ which side of this he lands on.
Where do you land on this, CJ?
I am for it.
Really? Okay.
I am for it.
I really legitimately
like
thought that you want easy targets to take out.
No.
Okay.
CJ's a nice guy.
I don't want easy targets.
CJ.
At this point, I
does
don't
he turn into a bit of a scallywag?
I don't do a ton of PvP anymore in the game. I mean, usually it's if people come to attack us that I'm saying this, and probably anybody who plays Sea of Thieves with me is like, what about that ship that was over there that you said let's go attack them?
Okay.
Well,
there it is.
There we go, Mike saying
Here you go,
that.
Mike in the chat.
Is this the same
what I was
CJ
waiting
who
for.
revels in the tears of sinking children?
There it is.
Yeah,
Just drops in the ocean, baby.
Yeah, that's right. But no, I think it's good. I could actually maybe play Sea of Thieves with Charlotte now without having to worry about being PvP.
It seems like Charlotte would be one of the people you'd try to sink.
Yeah.
Well, probably.
Yeah. There it is.
Anyway, that's what I've been playing. So I guess that means it's time for tweets.
Twiddle and diddle and dee. Oh, yeah, twiddle and diddle, a twiddle, a diddle, a diddle dee dee.
See, of course, since I restarted my computer, I don't have my tabs open.
Jesus.
Oh boy.
A slight issue. Uh-oh.
We closed our tabs, folks.
I closed my tabs.
Please excuse us while we
All
open
right.
our tabs again.
Let's do this one from hacker alias Doc Sampson, who says, why do some gamers,
Phil,
like Phil, it seems,
Whoa. Hold on.
don't want to finish games, usually based on the time it takes to finish them, even though they put hundreds of hours into something without a specific end, like a sports game or
I am a noted
roguelike
sports game fanatic.
roguelike.
Oh, okay, I understand. I see.
Yeah, a sports game, we can take that out because
Well,
you are not playing sports games.
I'm assuming
Unless
this.
it's
I think I was
Klonoa
talking about this.
Klonoa Volleyball, and then you're playing it.
Oh, are you kidding? Klonoa Volleyball? Yeah.
Or Mega Man Soccer. Let's be real. Those are the sports
That was
games that you
terrible.
play.
Yeah, that was a bad game. I will admit I gave Mega Man Soccer a try because of
Back in
course
the
I
day.
had to.
Yeah.
It was not a very good game.
No.
Okay, so this is probably prompted by last week. Greg was talking about Zelda
200 hours.
and I was oofing at how there was no way I was ever going to finish Zelda.
Which, by the way, do you have hour counts on how many hours you played Rogue Legacy 2? Like, what is your...
Why would you have that?
Which platforms have you played those the most on, and what's the hour count? I know Steam will tell you how many hours you've played.
You know what? I am sure that if you were to count up, because as we know, I've played these games on multiple systems. I'm sure if you went and tallied up all of my Rogue Legacy,
and you can, because Xbox does it too. Xbox tallies it up. PlayStation tallies it up.
I'm sure that Rogue Legacy, I am in multiple hundreds of hours at this point.
Yeah.
Dead Cells, probably the same. Rogue Legacy 2, we're getting there. I'm sure.
Yeah.
And yeah, that is a fair question, but I'm going to say this. They're different types of games.
Yeah.
They are different types of games. The those multiple hundreds of hours in Rogue Legacy are racked up over literally years. And that's how those games are designed. Those games are designed to be played in short bursts, right? Zelda, not so much. And I mean, yes, of course you can go in and load up Zelda and knock out a shrine or two.
Yeah.
But Zelda, by its design, and I'm using Zelda as an example because that's what sort of prompted this question. A game like Zelda or like an RPG or any of these kind of sprawling adventure games, they are designed as a big continuous journey. Yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
And even, I mean, how long I know Greg, like you playing Zelda, you put what, 200 hours into it?
Yeah, around 210, 220.
Okay. And obviously you're going around doing all the extra stuff, but like straight through, how long is Zelda? 60, 70 hours?
Yeah, probably.
That sounds about right, but I really don't know. I'm sure if you were really good at it, you could mainline it very quickly. But,
but I mean, I'm not talking speed run. I'm just talking average Joe sitting down, title screen to rolling credits, 70 hours. And that game is designed to be played as one kind of long, continuous journey. Certainly, you can do it over the course of a week or a month or a couple months. But it's designed as a big, long adventure game. Whereas something like, your roguelites, those are, Dead Cells.
Run-based.
If you are very good at Dead Cells, you can get through an entire run of Dead Cells, fight the final boss in an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And of course you're not going to the first time around because that game is designed to be played in multiple short runs. But it's just the way I play games, the way I consume video games is I tend to bounce around games.
It's not normal for you to actually I think both of you are like this.
Yeah.
Where you're not necessarily, when you start something, you're not necessarily playing it to finish it.
Right.
That's right.
Right. I'm playing it to just, get whatever bit of enjoyment I can out of it. And yeah, there are some games that suck me in, like, and I will finish them. I can guarantee you that I'm going to finish Spider-Man 2 when that comes out.
Yeah.
I guarantee you I'm going to finish Mario Wonder when that comes out.
Yep.
But a game like Zelda, if I see like a 70-hour playtime, I'm like, ugh, no, I can't devote 70 quote unquote straight hours to that. Because at some point, you get me 20 hours in, my interest starts to wander a little bit. Oh, well, there's this other game that came out. I want to see what this is.
A game like Dead Cells, a game like Rogue Legacy, a game like Hades is a very, like, the core loop of the game is short.
Yes.
It can stretch on as long as you want it to.
Exactly.
Versus something like Zelda, where it's like there are many loops that you could partake in.
Yeah.
But they aren't as sort of quick hit.
Right.
As something like a roguelite. Yeah.
And with Zelda, if I'm playing Zelda and I get 20-25 hours into it and then I put it down and then 3 or 4 months later I say, "Ooh, I want to pick up Zelda again." And I do, it's like, okay, well, I don't know where I am. What's my next objective? Where am I supposed to go?
Yeah.
I seem to remember there was a person I was supposed to talk to. I don't know who that was. I don't know what village they're in. I don't remember the map. Where, anything like that. If I pick up Dead Cells after not playing it for 4 months, which I have.
Yeah.
Where am I at? I'm at the beginning of the game. I'm always at the beginning of the game.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Do I remember the map? I can't remember the map. It's all procedurally generated. Yeah. So, yeah, the way I consume games, which is going to be different than a lot of people, is more conducive to those kind of short run-throughs like you were talking there, CJ.
Yeah.
And I see Namiv on the chat says, what if Spider-Man 2 releases with an average time of 150 plus hours? Then I would not finish Spider-Man 2.
Yeah. But that's not going to be the case.
But that's not going to be the case.
But also you're probably, well, I don't want to speak for you, but if
please do.
The 100% completion was 150 hours. I mean, I guess it would depend on what that all entailed.
Right.
You probably, although I think you did do 100% in Miles Morales.
I did. I
that probably wasn't Miles. That's not 150 hours.
Right. No, it wasn't.
Probably not going to be 150 hours again with this.
No. And I did. Well, yeah, because I platinumed Miles. I platinumed Ratchet.
Yeah.
I platinumed Last of Us.
Yeah. Well, I feel like Starfield is a similar game where I could stop playing it now, and I'm probably going to stop playing it.
Really?
Pretty soon. Yeah. And I will have gotten everything that I wanted out of that game.
Yeah.
But there are people who are going to play that over and over and over again and like wring every bit of fun out of it.
Yeah.
They're going to fill their spaceship with potatoes and make a GIF of it when they open the door and all these potatoes fall out. I mean, that's just going to be a thing that happens. I'm not going to do that.
Right.
But there will be people who do, and there's, I mean, it's very similar. Like the idea that you can get as much fun as you want out of a video game, whether it's Rogue Legacy 2 or Starfield or Zelda, like that's a good thing. And we shouldn't be judging based on
Here comes CJ with the finger wagging.
Enjoyment somebody is able to get out of one game versus another. Like some people are still playing Animal Crossing New Horizons they've started a million different islands and restart often. Like, sure, like, hey, I'm not saying anything bad about that. Is that the way you enjoy video games? Fantastic.
Yeah. I would also imagine that the broad strokes of what we were saying could be applied to sports games as well, right?
Yeah,
because it's just like
totally.
You know, you pick up the game, you want to play a Madden game with your friends.
Yep.
You do that, and you repeat that process, playing a Madden game with your buddies every weekend for 2 years. You're gonna rack up the hours, but you know you're doing those in short bursts.
I've got hundreds of hours sunk into Gran Turismo Sport, and Gran Turismo 7's getting there. But I think
GT Sport ending support in January, right?
Oh, is it now?
Yeah, it's a little bit sad to read that. But I want to say too that I've said this before. Like, I put 200 some odd hours into Zelda. That is not the kind of player I normally am.
Right. You just got sucked into it.
Yeah.
Right. That and a couple other things too. The game resonated with me. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, I wouldn't have put that much time into it if it didn't. But for me, the biggest hurdle isn't necessarily what you guys are saying. Because as long as I feel like even if it's a bigger game, as long as I feel like I'm making some kind of progress in like a 1 to 1.5 hour session, because that's normally how long I play. When I sit down to play a game, that's sort of the limit of time I have to spend on it. So I've always said that, like, I want to make sure that I've made some kind of progress. So that's why I don't necessarily get into really grindy games, because if progress is I've walked around the same area for 90 minutes fighting random battles over and over again to go up a couple levels, then I'm not usually that interested. But with Zelda, not only did I find it very compelling, but it just happened to come out around a time where there was a stretch of a couple months where nothing else that I was really interested in came out.
Yeah.
Because my big thing is I want to play a bunch of different games. But what I play, I want to play to completion. So if I get something that I'm not necessarily super crazy about, and I know it's got a really long time to even get to an ending, I usually won't stick with that very long, because I want to be playing other stuff, and I don't want to be one of those people that plays one game and nothing else. Like, for me to drop a couple hundred hours into a game, again, unless it's something that I'm really crazy about, like I am with Tears of the Kingdom, that's months, that's the better part of a year, playing one thing only, and I'm not interested in doing that usually. So it's just that Zelda happened to fall. Now, if Zelda had come out like the same day as Spider-Man 2, I'm not sure how that would have gone, because I would absolutely not put Spider-Man 2 on the back burner.
Right.
So hard to say, but yeah, for me, it's not necessarily that I want games that I can finish quickly, although I do like that.
Sure.
It's games that I don't feel like it's going to take up the lion's share of my playtime. And as has been said by a lot of people, I like to say I don't have time to play those games. I don't have as much time to play games as I want to, but clearly I will make the time if I'm playing something I'm really crazy about. So
yeah.
There you go.
See. All right. Well,
also, Dead Cells is better than Tears of the Kingdom.
Well, let's not.
There's also that.
There it is.
Just
let's not go that far.
I'm kidding.
Yeah. Let's do this one from Hacker Alias Navava, who is asking us about Yoshitaka Tamaki.
Mm-hmm.
To honor Yoshitaka Tamaki, who we recently learned passed away in July from lung cancer, name your favorite of his games. Titles include Shining in the Darkness, Shining Force and Remake, Landstalker, Lady Stalker, Alundra, Time Stalkers, Shining Soul, and Shining Force Neo.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked Alundra. I'll say it. I really enjoyed that. And I did finish that game. I reviewed it for EGM and finished it, which didn't happen often, especially with RPGs.
Right.
But I finished Alundra and loved it. And yeah.
I will have to admit that I never really got into most of those games. But I did what I played of Alundra and Landstalker. I did like both of those.
I really liked Landstalker as well.
Yeah.
I love Shining in the Darkness.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
his art and character, like, so he generally
his art
did
was
the character
beautiful.
designs,
Yeah,
and storyboards and stuff like that. But he had this very, I don't know if it was a unique style. It was unique to anyone else that I pay attention to, at the very least, right? But his character designs were just so great.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because I've been playing through the Shining games on Twitch, and of course, with the Shining games early on, he was the character and storyboard artist for Shining in the Darkness and for Shining Force. But by Shining Force 2, he wasn't anymore. Now he did do subsequent Shining games, which was great. But it's interesting because Shining Force 2, while it is a very nice looking game, the character portraits, like, it's very clear that he is not the character designer at that point. Because they just don't have the personality that his character designs have or had. So yeah, I mean, I honestly, anything he touched from a visual standpoint, I absolutely in love with. Like, his style was just awesome. So really sad to hear that he's gone, at like 55 years old or something like that, which feels too close. But yeah. But all that stuff, all the games he was involved in were pretty decent, and they always looked great.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's do this one from hacker alias Cindy Tacat, who asks, what games are you still looking forward to this year, and any game you wish you had time to play this year? They are looking forward.
Zelda.
They're looking forward to the Lamplighter League, Super Mario Wonder, Mario RPG, Persona 5 Tactica, and Alan Wake 2. I am hoping to find time for Jagged Alliance 3 and Aliens Dark Descent.
Hearing lots of good things about Alan Wake 2.
Oh, yeah?
Well, like a bunch of previews hit last week that were very positive.
Very positive.
I happen to have a list of games that I'm following
the
rest of this year, so I can tell you.
Oh.
Okay.
Lamplighters League, so that hits Game Pass on Tuesday. I'm actually interested in playing that because that's got a very sort of swashbuckling adventure 1930s
love to buckle some
serial theme, even though it's a strategy, like a tactical RPG, which is not the kind of genre that I'm into. We'll see if the aesthetics sort of outweigh that. Then Sonic Superstars, Jackbox Party Pack 10, Spider-Man 2, Mario Wonder, Metal Gear Solid Collection, Ghostbusters, Rise of the Ghost Lord, Alan Wake 2, Super Mario RPG. Those are, I think, it for 2023. And then we get into the stuff that's like early next year. And that Banishers game, it's a Don't Nod adventure game.
Oh, yeah.
That it's called Banishers Ghosts of New Eden, and that recently got delayed from November to February 2024, which is like going from a crazy busy period to another crazy busy period. But that recently got delayed. Otherwise, I would have also said Banishers, because Don't Nod is behind that. It looks really good. It looks kind of in that same vein of A Plague Tale: Innocence, where it's like that sort of third-person narrative adventure, Naughty Dog style kind of thing. Although it's
Naughty Dog on the cheap.
Yeah, a little Naughty Dog on the cheap, maybe. And I'm interested in that, but that now doesn't come out until February. So, but yeah, those are the games for me anyway that I'm excited about. Yeah, I'm sure there'll be more in there as things get announced for the
certainly Spider-Man, Mario Wonder, Mario RPG remake.
Yeah.
Speaking of games that are far too long that I'll never finish, and this could potentially qualify for the which one do you wish you had time to play this year? But I can't wait for Like a Dragon Gaiden.
Mm-hmm.
The man who erased his name.
Did you play Like a Dragon?
Not yet.
Yeah,
on my shelf waiting for me too at some point.
That's the same with me. I'm excited about that too, but I haven't gotten around to playing Like a Dragon yet.
I know. Yeah. It's killing me. But yeah, definitely those. You know what game I'm oddly curious about? And it's a little out of left field. Is I'm kind of interested to try out that Fashion Dreamer game for Switch.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about? Do you know that game that I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That like fashion model simulator type game. It looks like it's got like a really cool art style. Like I'm kind of interested to try that game out. I might actually pick that up on the Switch.
Okay.
I'm curious about Fashion Dreamer. I'm sorry. But yeah, those are kind of the big ones, really. I mean, Spidey and Mario are probably the top two that I'm interested in.
Yeah.
Oh,
and those
the
come
new
out
WarioWare
conveniently
game
on the same day.
Of course they do.
I know, yeah, right?
Convenient.
Yeah, that's wonderful. But yeah, and then there's the new WarioWare game that I'm
it's
love me a WarioWare game.
It's like a remake of Smooth Moves.
Yeah, it's still a WarioWare game.
Yeah, you're right. It is.
Yeah. I mean, they're never going to reach the highs of WarioWare Twisted, which is the best WarioWare game, as far as I am concerned.
I wish I'd played more of that one.
Oh, did you not play much of that one?
No.
Oh, Twisted is definitely my favorite of that series.
Okay.
But what about you, Greg?
Honestly, you guys have pretty much covered. It's the same ones you're talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm really excited for Spider-Man 2. That my sort of whole end of the year gameplay schedule centers around Spider-Man 2.
Yeah. We're in the same month now. We're in
Right.
October.
Yeah.
I am excited for Mario. Obviously, I'm really excited for the Super Mario RPG. I'm glad that that's coming out. I think, yeah, that's one that I really want to play too. Games that I want to find time to finish because I was doing them again before Zelda came out. The Final Fantasy Pixel remasters. I want to play. I'm like halfway through Final Fantasy 2, and I'd really like to get through all of them. Again, setting them on the casual settings so you can just sort of tear through them. I just want to experience them in that format. So like that, those I would say are the ones I want to find time for. But otherwise, the end of the year for me is 3 games, and it's Spider-Man, it's Mario, and it's Mario RPG.
I see. No Alan Wake 2 for you?
Oh yeah, I do want to play Alan Wake 2. Yeah, that was definitely on my radar, and yeah, I don't know that I was necessarily because of those other games. I wasn't necessarily like, oh, I have to play this right away. But again, since that preview event has happened, it's getting good buzz. Yes. So I'm a little bit more excited for it than I was.
You know what game I'm looking forward to, and I believe way back at the beginning of the year when we did our, like what games are you looking most forward to in 2023?
I have no idea what my answer was for those.
I believe this was on my list too. And I don't know what's happening with it. I'm actually looking around now and I'm seeing like talk of, they're aiming for December, but that was like back in the spring, is Mina the Hollower. Which is that.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing
the Yacht Club games, the Shovel Knight people. It's their kind of like Zelda style game.
Yeah.
Which
that'll get delayed, right?
You see, that's the thing. I'm assuming it is because it's been so long since we've
that got good buzz when they first started the Kickstarter for it. I think the demo that they had sent to press got pretty good buzz. So I'm excited about that one. I didn't back it on Kickstarter, but I probably will pick it up.
I don't think I backed it either, but I will definitely pick it up when it comes out.
Yeah.
So, but I'm guessing that's not going to be this year.
Probably not. Like, why would you want to release a game in December? Like,
right,
when everybody's talking about game of the year, like it just kind of seems like not a good time for that. But especially this year when there are so many like really good games that are probably going to get discounted quite a lot in December. Like, well, we'll see.
Yes,
but I'm excited about that one too. I think that's where we should leave it.
You're getting yelled at, by the way, in the chat for calling WarioWare a remake.
Well, isn't it called like Smooth Moves? The Japanese version is called like Smooth Moves 2 or Smooth, like whatever Smooth Moves was called. It's more
Smooth Moves.
The connective tissue on it being a remake is more obvious, evident in the Japanese title of the game or something like that. I had heard.
Okay.
So, but either way, I don't think I'm that excited because it's like all motion control stuff.
So. It is. Yeah.
Yeah. I like the WarioWare series a lot, but motion control stuff I'm not as into.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll have longevity for me personally.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway.
The Japanese name for that game
is Smooth apparently Moves 2?
What's that?
Is it Smooth Moves 2?
No, it's the Super Dancing Made in Wario.
What?
Apparently.
Okay. Well,
that's what I'm saying. According to the Super Mario Wiki, which, you can debate how accurate that is. But you know what?
I'm looking at it is Made in Wario, yeah.
Well, the WarioWare games have always been called Made in Wario in Japan. And this is what did I say it was? Super Dancing?
Super Dancing.
The Japanese name for Smooth Moves was Dancing Made in Wario.
There you go.
So there's your sequel connection. You have Dancing Made in Wario, and now Super Dancing Made in Wario.
See, I'm not crazy.
You're not crazy.
Well, I still am. Yeah.
You're inaccurate, but not crazy.
Inaccurate. There it is.
Well, not even inaccurate. You just don't have the fine details down. That's why we're here.
Ways. I think I've kind of been burned on the last couple Wario games where I picked them up and just not stuck with them. Like it doesn't feel like I should.
I absolutely, after the first game in that series, I barely ever touched another one.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I loved
none of the ones that I tried did anything for me. The first one was fantastic.
Yeah.
And I could pick that up and play that over and over again. But yeah. Nope.
Yeah, I see. I loved the original. Twisted, like I said, is incredible. Still my favorite. Touched, and I'm looking at a list of them, by the way. I don't have these all memorized. Touched, which was the DS one, was pretty good. And yeah, Smooth Moves was the next one, and that's when you start getting into the motion control, which is not as fun.
I don't want to do motion control games on pretty much anything.
Yeah, I'm past motion controls for the most part.
I'm done with that.
I wasn't ever really in love with them to begin with, so
no.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Alrighty, and that is our show for this week. Thank you very much for listening. If you have a question for us or would like to comment on something you heard, you can direct that at P1 Podcast on the social medias of which
you go.
we're on many networks. Most likely P1 Podcast on your network of choice.
Yes.
Send us a message. Why don't you? You don't
Why
have
not?
to wait until show day to send us a question, by the
Oh.
way. But
CJ
And we
said
also
enough
ha-
of your crap.
we also have an Ask P1P channel in Discord, which is where the question from Doc Sampson this week came from. So you can do that there too. Or you can go to our internet website at player1podcast.com. You'll find a contact information. You'll find blog entries about Sega CD stuff from Mr. Greg Seward. You'll find Generation 16 episodes as they occur. And actually, you're doing something a little different recently, right? Didn't you put out a Atari 2600 Memories video?
I did. Yeah.
Mhm.
Seen that correctly?
Just sort of a talking head video about talking about the Atari 2600, which was the first system I ever played video games on.
I see.
People seem to like it. I got more coming up. I got an NES one that's just waiting in the wings. So yeah,
I like it.
I'm gonna keep doing that stuff.
Excellent.
Sounds good. Or on our website, you'll find show notes and links to all the things that we talked about during this episode, and a link to our aforementioned Discord server where you can discuss this episode with us and our other listeners.
If you would like to subscribe to the Player One Podcast, you can do so by visiting player1podcast.com or by loading up your favorite podcast listening app. We're also on Spotify. You can like us on Facebook. You can watch video archives of our show on the youtubes.com/P1 podcast, or you can watch us live most weeks on the YouTubes, the Facebooks, the Twitch.televisions, all over the dang place, as long as it's one of those places.
One of those places.
Yes. And if you like what you've heard, and how could you, head over to patreon.com/P1 podcast. Throw a few shekels our way. I don't know. What will we do to misappropriate your funds?
I
don't know.
Probably nothing.
You know what? We'll hire someone to go to CJ's house and hang up his damn photos.
There it is. I don't think that would be misappropriation at all.
Yeah, that's actually
because that's the backdrop for CJ during the show.
Wow.
I've been looking at that pile.
I know. It's I mean, there's some beautiful stuff there that's just been
I
sitting.
know.
How long has that Amano print been holding up all that other crap in the wall?
I know. I'm waiting
let's
for
not talk about it.
I'm waiting for it to just buckle from the weight of all those other frames. Just snap right in two.
Yeah.
And also that PSVR headset that somebody's just waiting to stand on.
Shards of glass.
Why would you be walking over there? There's no
I don't know.
Maybe you want to pick up that monitor that's just sitting on the floor.
That's not a monitor. That's a computer.
That's an iMac.
Oh, my apologies. My goodness.
Yeah.
Anyway, you gotta fill in that negative space behind your head there, CJ.
Okay, I'll try.
No, you
That
won't.
negative space in your head.
That'd be a different kind of podcast.
Oh, he went there.
Oh,
he totally went there. It was pretty good, Greg. I set you up. You knocked him down.
Yeah.
Bump set spike. What we will use your Patreon funds for, dear friends, is to help support the show, keep it streaming, and all that crap that CJ deals with. When CJ is so busy dealing with all the rigmarole of running a podcast, he doesn't have time for hammers and nails.
See if she can get that stuff hung up.
Yeah,
that's what we need to do.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, friends, we're not just going to take your money and give nothing in return. Oh, no.
Oh,
we are far too generous for that. If you are a Patreon friend of the $5 tier,
cheap,
you gain access to a special weekly bonus episode that we record right after this.
What?
I'll probably be finishing up my soda in the after show where we play games, crack wise, having fun doing all the stuff we can't do on the regular show. CJ.
Yeah.
doth we have a game for this week?
We do.
Oh, huzzah.
Phil. Huzzah, indeed. We have a game from Hacker Alias Viking tonight. Yeah.
What is this game?
I don't know what it's about.
Oh,
Is
that by design?
It is a Jeopardy game.
okay.
They didn't mention in their email to us what the game is about.
Oh, so
But,
it's a mystery
it's a-
game.
The mystery.
Please join us.
As much a mystery to you as it is to me. So we will play it and find out together.
I, for one, am looking forward to this immensely.
Me too.
So please join us for that, friends. And I'll tell you what, if you have a couple bucks left over, head over to patreon.com/Greg Seward to help support Greg's outstanding, and make no mistake, it is outstanding web series about North America's favorite runner-up of the Sega Genesis.
Thank you, Phil. And if you are a supporter of the $5 variety,
That is also very affordable.
thank you, Satan.
Do you like that one, Greg? I mixed it up for you.
That's good.
It's a little Halloween surprise.
You get access to the almost weekly commute.
Oh,
It's been off for a couple weeks because I had COVID.
Yes.
Where I talk about what I'm working on, the various different trials and tribulations of putting together the content that I do put together. What I really think of Phil, the real reason CJ won't hang his art up, and other trade secrets that I'm sure you would love to.
Is that a
know.
trade secret?
It is now.
Phil's kind of obnoxious as a trade secret.
Well, shit. I gotta find something else now.
I'm just giving it away for free. Greg wants you to pay for it.
It's told if you do something well, don't do it for free. But yes, please consider supporting the show. It really goes a long way in helping. Thank you.
Absolutely. Greg,
Yeah.
I haven't finished your Atari video yet, but I did watch probably about half of it. It's quite good.
Cool. Thanks.
I'm enjoying your reminiscence about Atari. It's making me want to do something similar, quite frankly.
Well, you know what? I've had thoughts about that. We should talk about that after the show.
Oh,
oh.
Stay tuned, everyone.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, is that it?
I think that's it.
Is that it?
Yeah.
CJ.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Oh, thank you, Phil.
Hey, you got it, dude. Oh, Gregory.
Yo.
Thank you as well.
Thank you, Philip.
Hey, you got it, buddy. And of course, a big old thank you. Yes, you. Specifically, not you. You. Each and every one of you. Except for that one person who I just said no. But everyone else, thank you. See, CJ's really enjoying this bit
he
for
really
some
liked
reason.
that. That was a terrible bit, but he really liked it.
That was fun.
I pulled it down me trousers.
Here we go.
That's right.
CJ is going to be useless for the next 20 minutes now.
Well,
Absolutely. Thank you very much, everyone. As always, please take care of yourself. Your loved one, your family, your friends. Do what you got to do to be safe. Be kind to each other. Be kind to yourself.
Yeah.
For crying out loud. And we hope to see you next week.
Yeah.
Really do.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.